Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 90 in Ontario, League One Ontario's weekly recap series where we go over the past weekend's actions, preview the upcoming week, bring you interviews, and go over any news in the Ontario soccer world. Week 2 is fully in the books, which has had tons of actions, plus League One's own Chris Opie faced off against Canadian Premier League's Atletico Ottawa in the Canadian Championship preliminary round. Let's dive right into it with last week's 2 matches of the week.
It was the Borough FC's first home game of the season in search for their first league win of their campaign against Masters FA. And the first real chance came in the 25th minute. A perfectly weighted pass from Shekroon sends his striker in on goal, does everything right, takes around the keeper, but 1 second too late, creates that tight angle. He knew where his striker was and gave it to him on a silver platter. What a pass, but couldn't get the finish. Just 1 second too late on the shot attempt, but as for the Borough, they were trying to attack through their wingers. They had a few chances, but never created any real threat in the first half. But when they did even get a slim chance of a threat, they capitalized.
Keeper spills it, and there is a goal for Borough FC!
Christian Kasheshian opened the scoring, 5-6 defenders watching. Masters FA thought a foul should have been called, but Kasheshian saw the opportunity to finish the play with his quick instincts, his second straight game with a goal. A few minutes later in the second half, it's all tied up from the set piece. Aiden O'Keefe just peels off his defender. Nobody picks him out. Just the perfect deflection. Keeper didn't have enough time to react to it, and it's tied at 1. Masters FA continued that momentum in the second half, created a few more chances, 9 shots total, but ultimately this one ends in a stalemate. 1-1, your final.
The weekend has looked absolutely amazing, so let's hear from some coaches and players and their post-game interviews.
Yeah, we're looking forward to our first game today. A new team, we don't know anything about them whatsoever, so just got to concentrate on ourselves and follow up with our pre-season games and keep our systems, as we've been doing the last few weeks, and we've been playing quite well, so coming in confident and hopefully get a good result.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody, it's the beginning of the year, so we're optimistic. Like everybody, I think people think that everybody's going in thinking they have a chance at winning the league, and we're no different. So we're going to prepare, and our goal is to win the league and win promotion. And obviously, a good cup run is good for everybody and the morale of the players. We have some girls still back at university, like all the teams. So, it's tough getting the roster together and familiarizing the players with each other. So we have some younger players and some experienced players, and obviously waiting on some players from getting back from school. So we've had the group maybe for 1 or 2 training sessions, this particular group that's playing today. So really what we worked on was just our shape in and out of possession, and a little bit on set pieces, and really just going to work on what our identity would be, which we're going to be a hard-working team that are going to work to win the ball back high up the pitch. And I think we'll be really good on transitional moments as well. We got good pace, and we have an experienced group with the younger players. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, we're coming out here to win. We want to do it in the 90 minutes, and I think the players are really excited about the challenge. We know Srasapi from last year; they're always organized, and they're going to present challenges. We really don't get to look at any film because who knows what they're going to do, and there's no games to really gauge it. But they don't have any film on us either, so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes today, but we're confident we're going to come out with a result, hopefully.
The goal for the 2025 season, like I said, stay consistent, we work hard, and push for promotion. My game plan for today is just work hard, stay consistent, and score my chances when I get them.
Another year kicking off today. We got lucky with the weather being beautiful. So we're excited to have, majority of the girls back another season. Some are still away. Standards are same as last year. Come out, give your best in training, and then let the game be the dictator to what type of season we'll have.
Yeah, just to come out today with a freshness and a sharpness that the beginning of the season brings, but also just to be structured and tight and just stick to the profile. Overall, I think we believe in our first 11. We believe in our depth as well, and positive for a result
Yeah,
today.
we're super excited to be here. League One Cup action for our first game of the season. It's diving right into the deep end, but yeah, super excited about the opportunity and been at it for a few months now with these guys, and they're raring to go. So excited to see what we can put out on the pitch.
As you can see, we have a lot to go over. So starting with the Women's Premier Division, on Friday, NDC continued their perfect start with a 3-0 win against Alliance. Vaughan convincingly saw past North Miss with Nia Fleming-Thompson scoring a hat trick. North Toronto had a comeback win against Simcoe County Rovers, but the big comeback came when Guelph United went down 2-0 to Woodbridge, then to score 4 unanswered, winning 4-2, being fueled by a Zoe Rowe hat trick. In the Women's Championship Division, Pickering picked up a big result, beating Rush 5-1, which helped them be tied with Tecumseh for first, who won their match against Hamilton 2-0. Burlington played their match of the season, beating Unionville 2-0, seeing Nasima Ben Masood score a brace. And lastly, Oakville seeing the trifecta of 2-0 wins, taking all 3 points against Chrysope. Switching over to the men's premier matches, St. Catharines Roma picked up their first regular season win since being promoted, beating North Toronto 3-1. Alliance picked up a very big win against Vaughan 5-2, having 5 different goal scorers. Simcoe County bounced back from losing their opening match to beating Burlington 3-1 after conceding first. And lastly, Woodbridge beat Oakville with a shutout win 1-0. In our last division, men's championship side Whitby poured it on, winning 6-1 against Hamilton. We saw a pair of 1-0 wins where Sudbury beat Pickering and North Miss stayed atop of the league, beating Unionville. We had a thrilling match between York United Academy and Waterloo United, seeing the 4 different lead changes that saw York win 4-3. And lastly, Guelph picked up a big away win against Windsor City, led by Aiden Borges with a brace. With all the scores recapped, let's go over the Premier Division's Team of the Week. For the women's side, in net, we see Samantha St. Croix from FC London, and for the outfield players are as follows. Sarah Vanderland from North Toronto, NDC's Catherine Ozard, Guelph's Haley Ward, Kathleen Kimmins of Vaughan, NDC's 2 midfielders Tegan Mellenhorst and Adriana Bianchin, North Toronto's Jade Abreu, Vaughan's hat-trick scorer Nia Fleming-Thompson, second hat-trick scorer Zoe Rowe of Guelph, and last but not least, Gabby Cahoot joining her goalie from FC London. On the men's side, in net, we see David Carano from Woodbridge, Simcoe's Sebastian Cautrain, Beryl Khan from St. Catharines, 2 players from Chrysope being Matthew Paiva and Orlandez Benitez Hernandez, Narun Savanthan, Michael Osorio, Darius Kirk Cooper, all from Alliance, Woodbridge's Ronaldo Marshall, Simcoe's Rashawn Walks, and finally Roma sees a second player selected being Diego Rivera. Now, having the teams in and last week covering the championship, we will be going over the Premier's Performance of the Week fueled by Gatorade. The women's side sees hat-trick scorer Zoe Rowe of Guelph United, and the men's goes to St. Catharines Roma's Diego Rivera. Congratulations to both players and to the rest of the players making the teams of the week. For the rest of the divisions, please follow our Instagram page at League1 Ontario and check out our website league1ontario.com. With the recap fully done, if you are liking the content, please consider subscribing, leave a like, and turn on the bell notifications to keep up to date with all highlights and game footage for all divisions from League 1 Premier all the way down to the U20 level. Now, our first interview brings us to the League 2 level as the league just completed their first week, and for Cambridge United, a new face to League 1, saw both their men's and women's team get wins in their respective inaugural matches. Please enjoy our interview with Coach John Morgan and Coach Mikhail Rouget.
So, Mikhail, John, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm guessing that the start to your League 2 campaign for both the men's and women's teams couldn't have gone any better. A 9-0 win for the men over Waterloo and a 3-1 victory for the women over Oakville. Did the performances exceed your expectations?
Well, obviously, result-wise, absolutely. But I think from the perspective of us coming into the league as a full license holder, it was beyond our expectations the whole day, actually, from our organizational setup. The weather really complied with us on the day, obviously. and then culminating in the performances of both teams, which were, as you say, exceptional. I wouldn't say beyond what we expected because we've been training a few months now with the groups, and we're very confident in their abilities. So it was really nice to round out the whole experience with obviously getting the wins off the back of exceptional performances.
And maybe for you, Mikael, what was the atmosphere like on Sunday, and how has the community engaged with the club and with the two teams?
Yeah, it's we've worked on that quite a bit, to be honest, for the past 3 4 months of creating an experience on and off the field on that day. So we've partnered with a couple local vendors to create that environment. So we had a small marketplace with like food and beverage and some vendors such as Conestoga College who's run our halftime events. So it was really just about creating that environment where even the non-soccer fans would be able to come and enjoy. And then it resulted in having about 400 people coming to watch the game. So for us overall, with the beautiful weather, it was just a win, and we're just excited to continue that momentum.
And John, I understand you've been with the club for almost 2 decades. What were your emotions after witnessing the club's first ever season opening matches on your home pitch?
Yeah, thanks for that, Alf. You're not making me feel old at all. But yeah, it is, as you say, it was emotional in the sense that I've seen the progression of the club over a long period of time. And stepping into the club in 2006 as a volunteer, not knowing what this journey was going to be, it's been quite interesting to reflect back. And I think for the club and for the community at large, and by that I mean, within our local area, we have a lot of youth playing the game, which is fantastic. So it's not just Cambridge, it's the extended area. It's really for them adding this extra layer of player pathway, but also moving the club into an uncomfortable area, which is that semi-professional environment where the standards are different and the requirements are different. So, but to see it all come together individually from my perspective, to answer your question, yes, it was very emotional at times just to step back and observe the environment and to think that, 10, 15, 20 years ago, where we were standing on the edge of, grass fields that weren't the best, with the mom and dad type environment, to this environment now, which was as professional that we can provide at this moment in our environment. It was really, really nice to see. And as you say, from an emotional perspective, yeah, pride really, in all honesty, Alf, that this is where the club is now.
So you're fielding 4 teams in your first season in League One Ontario, 2 on the men's side, 2 on the women's side. Drawing from the catchment area in southwestern Ontario, how challenging was it to identify and select the players to represent the club, both on the men's and women's side?
If I can start, Alf, if you don't mind, and then I'll let
Sure.
Mikkel jump in. But in all honesty, it was straightforward. Our philosophy is local, and we've said that from the beginning. We're not in the business of recruiting from, the corners of the province, the corners of Canada. Maybe that's for the future as we progress in this league. But right now, we really wanted it to be a vehicle for local players that engage with our club for a number of the years in the youth, that had to move away to find the experience. Some of them have come back. And then also for players that are progressing through the pathways in this area at multiple clubs, for them to have that open age adult semi-professional environment. So in reality, we've engaged with a lot of players from the local area. At the open trial, we had 200 registrations, which was for us quite a number to manage, but we navigated through it. And then obviously through our networking locally, connecting with clubs, having good relationships with technical leads at the local clubs, and then also being involved with Conestoga College, who is really local for us. And then also having connections with the local universities at Laurier and Waterloo. It really did allow us to keep it local. So selecting the groups wasn't easy. The level of play was exceptional. So it wasn't easy to select, but we're very comfortable with the players that are now part of the squads, and we're really confident on how we move forward with them.
Mikael, you have something to add on that?
Yeah, I'm newer to the picture. I've been with the club for about 4 months now, but what I want to say is really about these players who are local is we've brought back players that went away and played League 1 for other clubs, and now after spending time with them and really discussing the project and the objectives, we got buy-in from these players, and now you've got four senior players that used to play League 1 for the past couple of years, and then you have upcoming young players who are coming off either the OPDL programs from Cambridge or the local clubs around that are coming to Cambridge to help us in that journey. And it's really exciting to see the mix of the experience and the youth and the talent and the effort that everybody puts in to make it a successful environment. And so it's been very exciting to see it come together, really, because like John said, I think across the club, like most of the players are either from Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo, and some Guelph, but that's really about it, almost, except for a couple. So it's really exciting to see.
Right, and just in conclusion, perhaps as we progress through the balance of the season and perhaps look beyond this season into the next couple of years, what are the club's immediate ambitions and objectives for 2025, but also in the short term as you establish yourself in League 1 Ontario?
Miguel?
John, I'll leave you that one. No?
Okay, good. No, that's fine, because the reason we say that, Alf, is that we're a very collaborative environment.
Of course.
Both organizationally and technically. It's taken a big effort from a lot of people, and as Mikael alluded to, he's quite new to the environment, but he's very experienced in helping get a franchise off the ground from scratch in League 1, which has been invaluable for us. And one of the first things we did when we got together was sit down and make that strategic plan, which is, it's the roadmap for the future. And it's very important that, what happens in the short term doesn't detract us from what that roadmap looks like. So we are very aggressive in that terms. We want to be really competitive. So our objectives is to, move through that promotion and relegation pyramid and work our way up to the Premier. We know that's not going to be easy. We know it's going to be challenging, but within our 5-year strategic plan, that's where we would like to be. In the short term, really, it's to establish ourselves within the community with awareness and make soccer the #1 weekend product that everybody wants to come and see. And with that becomes the natural growth and the support. So for us, really, it's establishing ourselves in years 1 to 3 while still moving through that pyramid, and hopefully by year 5, being at the top of that pyramid, which organically allows us to grow off the field from a support network of local businesses within that community, which we've really attacked in the last few months, and we have a great deal of support already, which is fantastic. But for us, again, how do we build on that year on year within that strategic plan as we grow? So I'm really excited about it. I'll allow Mikael to put his thoughts to it, because he's been heavily involved in that plan as well.
I think one of the big thing for Cambridge is the fact that we have a fantastic infrastructure. We have year-round training with domes and like a beautiful outdoor facility that has 3 turf fields, beautiful change rooms, classrooms, so we can really replicate the professional environment. And then that's something that we're trying to utilize as its maximum, because I don't think all of the organizations in the League 1 market have that infrastructure. So we want to make sure that we utilize the most of it and as well as, bringing, staff and players that are experienced as well. So we grow in that journey of our 5-year plan going in the Prem. So that, yeah, I think from that perspective, it gives us really a good strategic approach to, having that already, so we can just focus on like player development and then funneling player from the local area and really building a program that's sustainable and on and off the field, really. That's the intent.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, John, Mikael. Thank you both for joining us, and we certainly wish you the best of luck through the balance of 2025 and into the future for Cambridge United. Best of luck.
Alf, it's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Alf, and to both coaches. It looks like Cambridge is on the right track to both doing well in their leagues and to continue to grow as a club. Heading to the Canadian Championship, this past Tuesday saw League One Ontario's very own Scrisopi FC take on Canadian Premier League side Atletico Ottawa. Just in case there are new faces to Canadian soccer, every year professional clubs across Canada compete in a cup format to crown the best club in the country. Taking into consideration that League One Ontario is a Pro-Am league, the club finishing first in the Premier Division gets an invitation to the Canadian Championship. And given that Scrisopi finished first last year, they were awarded the spot. Jumping right into the match, and despite some nerves, Scrisopi almost had the dream start as in the 5th minute. Noah de Dominicus broke from the right wing to go on a breakaway but struck the left post and just out narrowly missing out on taking the lead. Quickly after, in the 12th minute, across from the Ottawa's left wing came in and saw Kevin Dos Santos strike the ball in with a deflection, beating Scrisopi's Andreas Vaikla. As the game went on, Atletico really dictated play and led the action, but Scrisopi was still showing signs of being dangerous. However, in the 86th minute, Atletico substitute Sam Salter put the match to bed with a strike from the left side of the box and brought Ottawa to the next round with a 2-0 win. Now, despite losing, John Yaku's side can hold their head high, as they definitely proved that they belonged on the pitch with Ottawa and showed what League One Ontario has to offer. Well done on the match and good luck for the rest of the season. Finally, looking forward to the upcoming weekend. Our first match of the week on the women's side sees North Toronto take on North Mississauga in the Premier Division, and our very own Carlisle Frizette talks with both coaches Mark Monder and my good friend Adrian Field. Have a listen.
One of the things I've heard from several coaches, honestly every coach I've talked to so far early in the season, is that you're dealing with a roster that is probably incomplete, especially in the early stages with players coming back from school or from wherever. How has that been the reality for you at this stage of the season?
It has, and we're trying to sort of mitigate that by creating the right culture. It's my first year with the team here at North Miss, so although I've been at the club for 3 seasons. We're really trying to focus on those intangibles, building the right culture, the right attendance, the right mentality, the right belief in the camp. With that in mind, when the players are coming back at different timing intervals from school, hopefully they'll fit into a seamless high-performance environment, and it'll sort of help with that process that we're all dealing with in the league right now.
The start of the season, told the players we've got 3 games for pre-season. So Guelph, Simcoe, North Miss this weekend, 3 games. Season really kicks into is London away. And we've stuck to that. We really, really have. So I'm really happy how we started unbeaten, 4 points, 5 goals, lots of really great moments. A grade 12 young lady has started the last 2 games for us as the striker with Selena. She's off to UBC, really high ceiling. I think there's a few people that are excited by her. So to give her that experience has been great.
Tell me a bit more about your role, what you see yourself, being a head coach in a program like you've described it. Every role is a little bit different. Everyone approaches it a little bit differently. Tell me a bit about your approach to what you're trying to accomplish as a coach and your messaging to the players early on.
I want this to be an environment that echoes the culture that we've had previously. Now that obviously Billy Wilson's gone, I was Billy's assistant coach for the last 2 years. So I want that to continue. I want this to be a place where ex-North Toronto players come home and play. It's about giving young players opportunities, and then also making sure that this is home for North Toronto players that are coming back that are at the level. We are so proud. Genuinely, I've been at the club 14 years. So proud that so many of our players come back, play for us, and our retention's excellent. I think there's a lot of excitement around us as a program and the players that are with us and where they've gone, and maybe with the players that are coming back to us. There's a realistic option for them to go pro afterwards if they make the grade. I think we're going to be a challenge for everyone, and that's all. That's the main thing. That's all I can say. That's the objective of North Toronto every year, that we want to challenge and want to be there or thereabouts, but also push players onto the next level like we've done year after year, to be perfectly honest, on the female side.
As far as, week to week and match to match, has your messaging changed at all? Are you adapting as the season sort of grows early on? And what are your expectations for the week ahead?
Well, honestly, I think there's just a lot of excitement in the camp this week, being match of the week, playing North Toronto as well. North Toronto with a storied history in the last decade of the league. And obviously with Marko Milanovic having graduated from there and a lot of the players moving on to AFC Toronto, it's always an exciting time to play. So we know we'll bring a good level, but we also have a good level to show and to bring. And we're growing towards that each and every week. We can see improvements in the players. We can see the motivation continuing to grow. So honestly, there's just a level of excitement. So in terms of my standpoint, our approach, it's been more of the same. I think we have to treat this early part of the season sort of as the preseason. It's an 18-match season, which is quite a lengthy one, but I'd be lying if I said we weren't really excited for this one coming up.
All right, Adrian, thanks so much for making time today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carlisle, and to both coaches. And let's quickly jump over to the men's side where FC London takes on Vaughan Azzurri, and we'll head it over to Dexter Abrams for the interview.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Dexter Abrams here. This week, I'm bringing you the men's match of the week, FC London hosting Vaughan Azzurri. As the story goes, for most of the teams starting off this League 1 campaign, a lot of teams are waiting for their players to come back from university to complete their roster, and FC London and Vaughan Azzurri are the same. FC London come into this game searching for their first win in the League 1 Ontario campaign. They were able to secure their spot in the second round after defeating Hamilton in the first round of the League 1 Cup, but drew 2-2 to Alliance in the first game of the League 1 Ontario season. They'll certainly have the work cut out for them against a strong Vaughan Azzurri team who only lost one game in last year's League 1 Ontario Premier Division. While Vaughan Azzurri in the 2024 campaign only had one loss in the regular season, they've already, in just their second match, equaled their total losses for last season while conceding 6 goals. There could be many reasons why Vaughan Azzurri has had a slow start by their standards. Some players might not be in the team yet. There could be injuries. There could be just an issue with chemistry. But knowing Vaughan Azzurri, they would be looking to make a statement with this game this week. With the talent that both of these teams possess, we should be in for a match that's full of entertainment and goals. Tune in May 3rd to watch FC London hosting Vaughan Azzurri for this week's match of the week.
Thank you, Dexter, and to both coaches. We wish everyone good luck on their games. And with that being said, that is all we have for this week. We hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to leave a like, comment which team's surprising you the most to start the season. Consider subscribing and turning on the bell notifications. Take care, and we'll see you pitch side.